Boom, done.
What was that?
He said it makes sense.
The door of where everyone's going.
Yeah, hugely. I always say to bouncers, how you going? Well, I don't say how you going, I say how you doing. How are people treating you tonight? Get the name, that's a different subject though. Get the name, say hi, remember it, come back. You remembered his name, you're one of 7,000 guys he's seen all weekend. Cool. And then that will allow us to escalate using what if scenarios. If I say, all right, what if we all just rented a party bus and we all said, fuck this shit, and we all went out together. We all got on the party bus, there was like flashing lights and stuff. You're all picturing that. And that is the scenario that we've created, the two of us, or the many of us, right? You can do this over text, over phone, create that escalation, create that scenario. What if we just jumped on a plane and flew to Paris? What if you and I, right now, pooled our funds and went out to Montenegro and sat at a baccarat table in fine evening gowns and my white tuxedo and smoked cigarettes and drank champagne? In order to understand those words, you have to create that scenario in your mind. And that's how we escalate. We escalate through different ways to fantasize. Here's some good ones. Would you like it if we toured Europe for a month and saw all the most beautiful sights? Why don't we tour Europe for a month and see all the beautiful sights? I think someday it would be good to tour Europe and see all the beautiful sights. I'd really love to take you to Europe to see all the beautiful sights. Not that good to escalate 4 times in one conversation on the same subject, yeah. Dude, I'm from West Newbury, Massachusetts. Come on, man, we have a gas station and a video store. Escalation, I mean Europe, is probably pretty cool. So how do we do this? We create scenarios and then we use our language to move through it, right? Let's talk about language. We want to continue painting a picture of the fantasy by starting in romantic imagery, continuing through sensual imagery, and then getting to sexual imagery. So we talk about turning women on, right? Men are like an on and off switch, right? We say men are light switches. Like if I was like, all right, tall, skinny brunette, tube top, mini skirt, gorgeous, big tits.
Mine.
Yeah, right? Dibs. We're all like ready to rock and roll. She walks up the stairs. We all go, James, is that yours? James goes, no. We go, all right, done. Women are like an oven knob, 0 to 10. It takes longer to get there, but it's not all just sexual stuff. We start in romantic imagery. What is romantic imagery? Like moonlit walks, first dates, excitement, adventure, the kind of literal, I don't want to say binary, but very objective things that exist. Doing this. Having fun, being that kind of stuff. That's why guys are like, okay, first date, dinner. Dinners are nice. Nice is good, right? Cool, great, very romantic, nice. Sensual imagery. Sensual imagery is like soft touching, gently blowing. 70%, 80% of romance novels. Romance novels in the United States are a $2 billion industry, and there's probably like 8 guys that read them, right? So it's huge, it would be double that. Romance novels, why are romance novels shit? Why do men not like romance novels? Because it is purely a journey. The plot is usually like, there's some oppressed woman, she hates where she is, some probably terrible dude here oppressing her. Help, help, I'm being repressed, right? And then some dark stranger swoops in, changes the whole thing through lots of sex and very sensual interactions with probably some romance mixed in, and then he leaves and she's in a dark corner still, but has a new appreciation for life. That's like all of the romance novels ever, right? Yeah, right? And the airport, I picked up this book called Dark Highlander. I was like, $6, done. Picked it up, opened up to page 138. I'll always remember this because I was like, should I buy this book? Open up to 138. The top of the page is like, gently caressed her erect nipple. I was like, done, boom, right? So I bought that book. Sensual imagery is like all of that stuff that is essentially extremely, I don't want to say, Evocative. It evokes. That's what we say in America, so you guys wouldn't know. It evokes those emotional feelings. That's essentially like graphic sexual description to us. Forgive me for using this terrible language. When we say to a woman something like, I love nothing more than pull your warm skin against mine and drag my fingers up your spine. sink them into your hair, and pull you close to me for the most passionate kiss you've ever had. It's like a girl walking up to us and being like, I want to suck your dick so hard that your ears hurt, right? We're like, oh, that's an awesome feeling. This is great. This is wonderful. Thus bringing us, of course, to sexual imagery, which is like, I won't really have to explain that. Now, I'm totally out of time here, but I want to talk about my first date example. And the way that I say this is because you can't walk up to a girl and be like, I'd like to bang you in my car, right? That's a bit, you can, yes you can. There are companies out there that are like, say this, Gareth Jones, it doesn't work. However, if you proceed, it's a very sexual phrase, right? However, if you proceed through the system of romantic, sensual, and sexual, it becomes a perfectly acceptable phrase. Make it more sensual. There's lots of ways to do this. But I'll give you a real quick example. This isn't gonna, it might, but I'm not saying to go out and do this. I'm just going to give you an example of how it'll work on your mind. If I walk up to a girl, and this is what I said to this girl, a place called Miyagi's. I was out with JT at an after party at this place, and this girl walks up to me, and she was like, she was short, and she's like kind of a little bit plump, but she was beautiful. She just had this gorgeous, her face was beautiful, and her body was wonderful and curvaceous, and I was just like instantly smitten, and I was like, look at you. You're wonderful. This is incredible. You look like the type of girl that I would very much like to take on a date. And what we'll do is we'll go to this beautiful restaurant. We'll go have a lot of fun. We'll go to this amazing jazz restaurant. There's a place called Cafe Was. They have jazz music. It's nice, it's soft. And listen to the romantic imagery. I'm going to start right at the beginning. Okay? It's nice, it's soft, it's a lot of fun. It's a great environment. So, low lights, candle lights, soft linen tablecloths, that kind of, wicker chairs, cool breeze. We'll get into sensual imagery. And that kind of, that dinner will have like a wonderful juicy salmon, or maybe a steak, or maybe a light salad with some bread. The whole place smells like bread. You get that whiff where you can absolutely just die, and you want nothing more than to be wrapped in this very cozy environment that you're in. It feels so wonderful. Maybe I take your hand. We do that thing where we're at that table on that first date, and you just want to hold that person's hand while you're there. But you're holding that hand, and holding that hand just isn't enough. You want to kind of meld your hands together, and we get up from dinner. And we hold each other, and the body's together. And you have that great feeling of passion that's together, and you look in each other's eyes, and we have this wonderful connection, and we know. And the best part before a first kiss is when you know she wants to kiss you, and you know you want to kiss her, and she knows you want to kiss you, and you just haven't done it yet, and it's this great, steamy, sensual feeling, and you finally have that perfect release of tension in that first kiss, but that first kiss isn't enough. You always kind of have a very reserved first kiss, and then the kisses get more and more passionate, and you hold each other closer and pull each other tighter until it just becomes two bodies trying to melt into each other. And we say, fuck it, we got to go to the bar. Let's walk over to the bar, and we're laughing, and now we're giggling, we're holding hands, and the tension is gone, and it's just freedom. And we have these drinks. Maybe we stand around and talk, and everybody's conversation seems so banal and pales in comparison to the emotions that are going between us. And we say, we've got to do this, and we're hugging and we're kissing, and we're having we're that couple at the bar that's just like everyone else is just so annoyed with because we're enjoying it so much, those feelings. And then what we do is we take each other and we run out of this bar in the cool air, and the cool air cools us down but shocks us into that. And we run to the parking lot. And I push you up against the car, and you squeal and wrap your arms around me. And you're pulling your hands through my hair, and I'm kissing, we're passionately kissing, and there's just no other feeling. We can't get close enough to each other, and I get in my car, but you crawl across the front seat and climb over. And we strip off all of our clothes and have that passionate sex right there, right in that moment. And we're talking about essentially banging her in the car, right? But when you move through that progression, when you go through that language, you're creating that scenario, and you're evoking all of those emotions that are turning that knob, that are going through, that are at least painting that picture, that are making it more exciting. And you can do that over word. And you can do that through text. You can especially do that over the phone. You can tell when a girl will close her eyes just to listen to you over that phone. And you create that connection. And I tell you that if you call up a girl after you've met her at a club, and you're laying down, and maybe you're having a nice chat, and it leads to something like that, that's probably beaten. Just that 5-10 minutes of conversation, 20, 25, 30 minutes of conversation, has probably beaten 50%, 60%, 75% of the first dates that she's been on. And that's why it can be done. That's why it creates that relationship. And that's why it creates that passion between you two. And that is very much why I really, really enjoy this, is that it's very much in complete accordance with what the guys at TNL teach too. Being honest in that way, expressing intention and moving forward through that. For some of us, we don't know how to do that. We don't know the words to use, and so I try to break that down even further. And then we can apply that and put the stuff that you've learned from these guys, from the other guys in different layers or different companies that you've been with, and allow it to be a more framed thing, more framed kind of escalation in your mind as you work forward with those relationships. I've totally overextended my time. Thank you guys for putting up with me. I really appreciate it.